that insight. Thank you so much. Moving on, after 9 months, 289 days, NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore are finally headed home. The SpaceX craft carrying the two astronauts detached from the orbital outpost at 5 GMT, ending their prolonged mission that has captivated global attention. The NASA duo are joined on board by American Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gurbunov. The crew are now settling in for the 17-hour journey back to Earth. If all goes smoothly, the capsule will deploy its parachutes off the coast of Florida for an ocean splashdown when a recovery vessel will retrieve the crew. Wilmore and Williams flew to the orbital lab in June last year on what was supposed to be a days-long round trip to test out Boeing's Starliner on its first crewed flight. But the spaceship developed propulsion problems and was deemed unfit to fly them back, instead returning empty. Now, what happens after the landing of the stranded astronauts? Well, they will be first retrieved by recovery teams and flown to NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. There will be medical evaluations to assess any spaceflight-related health effects, reacclimatization to Earth's gravity, since the astronauts spent a long time in the microgravity zone. Once there is clearance from NASA, flight surgeons Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore will finally be allowed to return home. Dr. Surinder Pal, former ISRO scientist, is joining us on the broadcast. Sir, appreciate you being here with us. So, well, the good news is that Sunita Williams is coming back. What challenges should she brace for now that we have all come to terms with the fact that being in space for so long is unhealthy?
Yeah, I'll divide your question into two portions. One is technological. See, they are taking 17 hours. Some persons ask why Soyuz comes early and in 3.5 hours they come. See, here the deboosting is done and deorbiting is done in a gradual manner, so that the angle of descent is proper and it splashes off the coast of Florida. So that way it takes more time, and in this process the G effect on the astronauts will be less as compared to Soyuz. The Soyuz G effects are more. Another thing is that the Russians have got a larger space, so they start doing deboosting somewhere off the coast of Canada, and then they land somewhere in between in the middle of Russia or maybe Kazakhstan, whichever place is convenient to them. This follows separate protocols, and their astronauts are also, they are trained to experience slightly larger G for acceleration, whatsoever we call. As far as this particular mission is concerned, it takes 17 hours. They will be deboosting. Coming out, the technical challenge is that everything should remain proper as per the protocols which they have defined. And now the weather conditions should be proper, because of course they give a margin for the weather conditions. But suppose a storm is there or something else happens, then there is a provision in this capsule to be reboost it and come out later on also. So assuming the weather conditions are proper, they will definitely splash down in the proper place. They will be taken, and the biological and physiological impacts which are taking place will be managed by NASA space. The radiation dosage, etc., could be slightly lethal, and one has to see overall dosage, how much they got it, or how much the vision is getting affected. These two things are there which are irreversible. Otherwise, everything is reversible and manageable.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you so much. Well, that's all we have time for.